Good morning, beloveds. This is Chico. I may or may not be able to get him to turn around and face the camera. He's decided he needs some love, so I am acquiescing. He's a good boy, and he's a heavy boy, and he spends most of his time staring out the windows. He's not much of a people cat. But when he asks for love, we definitely make the effort to give him all of the love. If you haven't noticed, I have a number of cats. There are actually 6. We have 3 boys and 3 girls. And I have 2 orange tabby girls, and then Chico is an orange tabby boy. But if you just saw that, he has a little white paw. All of his paws are white, and he has the white chest. And then he has these little white stripes coming down his nose, which is where his name came from. We called him White Cheeks. And then we called him Cheeks. And then we called him Cheeky, the cheeky fellow. And it eventually evolved into Chico. So, he's a pretty boy, and he knows it. And, so right now, I'm taking 2 Zoom classes, at the center, and last night, they were in for a show, because Tom and I are both in, the Bible class, and so we're both sitting next to each other on the couch, and we're each on our own computer, so there's camera on each one of us, and they could watch the cat, any of the cats walk from one screen to the next, and they were all up in our faces last night. I don't know what that was about, and we had an interesting experience. The cat that I lost a year ago, or I let go a year ago, was a black cat. Come on. I have 2 of, so at the time I had 2. Kieran he had yellow eyes, and Foster he has green eyes. And Foster is not a people cat. He loves one person, me, and he tolerates Tom. He's not, he was dumped out at the Renaissance Festival. He was traumatized. He's just not into the whole people thing. And, so normally nobody knows I have a black cat, because if you come to my house, you'll never see him. Well, last night, Jesse was talking, and, Foster got up on the couch and laid down behind my head and was listening and purring, and he was thrilled and happy to be there. And I was like, what is this? And then then Jesse took a minute and took a question, and God love him, as soon as Michael spoke, Foster was like, I'm out of here. I just thought it was interesting how much that Foster likes listening to Jesse. I have to ask Tom if he gets up and watches the service on Sundays. So there's definitely something about the way Jesse speaks that Foster liked, and I was just like, alrighty then. Okay, Cheeks. Yes, I love you too, but I'm gonna have to. Are you ready to get down now? You ready? Okay, good. All right. And I'm now covered in cat hair. Oh, life in a cat house, right? All right. So, I believe it is June 11th. That's what I said on the, that's the title I gave it. And, yesterday I typed in the 10th, read the 10th, and said it was June 9th. No, it's June 11th. It is, I believe, Thursday. I'm not going to swear to that. Yeah, it has to be Thursday. I went for a run. Is it wrong that I tell the day of the week based on which run route that I do and if I ran or walked? All right. So June 11th. Spiritual substance is my supply. I know that spirit fills all space and animates every form. Therefore, spirit is the true actor in everything. But I also know that spirit can only act for me by acting through me. This means simply that God can only give me what I take. I am conscious that as I daily enter into my divine inheritance, in my thought and in spirit, I am entering into the realm of absolute causation. And I completely believe from this secret place of the Most High within me, there shall be projected an objective manifestation of my every legitimate desire. Am I really accepting abundance? Is my thought really animating my experience with the idea of plenty? Am I affirming that divine substance is forever flowing to me as supply? Today, I praise the abundance of in all things. I animate everything with the idea of abundance. I am remembering only the good. I am expecting more good. I am experiencing good. I acknowledge the good working everywhere. I acknowledge the good working everywhere. I give thanks that this good is flowing into my experience in ever increasing volume. There is that within me that sees, knows, and understands this truth, that completely accepts it. There is good enough to go around. Therefore, I do not withhold that good from myself or others, but constantly proclaim spiritual substance is forever flowing to each and all as supply. Okay, I struggled with this one just reading it. So let's see. All right. So I'm going to go back to the title. The title is Spiritual Substance is My Supply. So we're going to go back to the one, everything's made from God stuff. This is where it's coming from. Okay. I know that spirit fills all space and animates every form. There is one. Everything's made from spirit. Therefore, spirit is the true actor in everything. Okay, I can accept that. I feel like I feel like a lawyer arguing with myself right now. That's kind of what this feels like. But I also know that spirit can only act for me by acting through me. Okay, there's the clause. I can only have what I can accept, which is exactly what he says in the next line. This means simply that God can only give me what I take. How big is your container? How big is your basket? How big is your bucket? How many times are you going to go to the river? You have choices. You can go to the river of supply with a teaspoon. You can go to the river of supply with a bucket. A basket probably wouldn't be terribly effective unless you lined it. Or you could go to the river with a hose. Just connect that hose into the river of supply and let it constantly flow. Just a thought. I am conscious that I daily enter into my divine inheritance in my thought and in spirit. I am conscious. We have to consciously go to the river and accept that this is our divine inheritance. There's that too. I am entering into the realm of absolute causation, and I completely believe that from this secret place of the Most High within me, There shall be projected an objective manifestation of my every legitimate desire. So I completely believe, so I consciously enter, I completely believe, and that it shall be projected an objective manifestation of my every legitimate desire. We all have those moments where the flight of fancy comes through. And I think that's one of the reasons why he says legitimate desire. For two reasons. One, the legitimate desire is good for everybody. Okay? And two, it also lessens the sting of when we have those thoughts that aren't so nice. It's like, no, that's not a legitimate desire. Don't worry about that. And then we also have the wild fantasies that are just not, it's like, yeah, that's nice, but it's not good for, it's not bad, but it's not good. So I think he puts that legitimate desire in there for two reasons. Am I really... Okay, so then he has a series of questions for us. Am I really accepting abundance? Is my thought really animating my experience with the idea of plenty? Am I affirming that the divine substance is forever flowing to me as a supply? If you can't say yes to any and all of those, then you need to go back and check your belief system. So, am I really accepting abundance? Well, look around. Are you really accepting abundance? Is my thought really animating my experience with the idea of supply? Are you showing up at the river with a teaspoon, or are you showing up at the river with a hose? Are you affirming that the divine substance is forever flowing to you as supply? Do you trust God? Do you trust Spirit to bring to you that which you desire, need, want, whatever word you want to use right there? Are you affirming that it is coming? I mean, he's asking the hard questions here. So then the second one is like, okay, all right, so here's how we answer those questions. Today, I praise the abundance in all things. Gratitude. I mean, gratitude is a form of love, and there's no greater power than love, so there's no greater power than gratitude. I'm grateful for what I have. And when I'm grateful for what I have, then it seems like I'm going to use the word seems. It seems like there's more. Because I'm grateful for what I've got. And then generally, when I'm grateful for what I've got, more flows in. I animate everything with the idea of abundance. Because I'm remembering where it's coming from. It's not coming from me, it's coming through me. I am remembering only the good. It's like, don't forget the bad. Just right now we're focused on the good. I'm expecting more good. Why not? Why not expect good? Because when we expect good, more good happens. And when we expect bad, typically that's what happens. So why not expect good? Why not expect everything to go right? I am experiencing good. I acknowledge the good working everywhere. So find the good and praise it. I think that may be Emma. But find the good and praise it. Focus on what is working and make it work better or make it work well. I give thanks that this good is flowing into my experience in ever increasing volume. Okay, we're back to the power of gratitude. There is that within me that sees, knows, and understands this truth, that completely accepts it. So, that secret place of the Most High, that place where you meet God, that place that nothing has ever been wrong, that place in you that knows this. As Ruth likes to say, I want to know this teaching in my bones. It's there. Are we open to it? There is good enough to go around. And we need to shout that from the mountaintops. I'm kind of the opinion that a great deal of the problems in the world are simply based on the fact that there are a whole lot of people that are scared that there's not enough. Yeah, there is. There's enough. There is good enough to go around. So if we stop living in fear and recognize the good and spread it around. Yeah. There's a quote from Hello Dolly about money being like fertilizer. It doesn't do any good if it's sitting in one place. You want to spread that stuff around. Same thing with good. We want to spread that stuff around. Therefore, I do not withhold the good from myself or others, but constantly proclaim spiritual substance is forever flowing into each and all as supply. All right. So your mission, should you choose to accept it today, is to not withhold the good from yourself, from others, but to constantly proclaim. So your mission is to constantly proclaim spiritual substance is forever flowing to each and all as supply. All right. That is today. I am going to go and get the rest of my day moving. And I'm going to, as always, encourage you to do something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for yourself. And if you're in my area, it's 65, well, it was 65 degrees out there at 7. When we went out for that run, it was nice. So if you have stuff to do early outside, go do it now. It's comfortable. It's going to be back in the 90s. It's going to be hot. I mean, it's June and it's South Houston, or it's South Texas here. So, I encourage you to, open your windows, get some fresh air. It was the first time in a while that I walked back in the house after a run. It was cooler outside than it was in the house. It's always an interesting experience. So, we got to enjoy it while we've got it, right? Okay. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Reverend David will be sometime after 5 today. Do what you need to do to make today the best day ever. Have a fantastic day, beloveds.